Good evening and welcome to Rock Truth. I am your host, Tamoise, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inerrant, and the final authority for all. Rock Truth is founded on He, who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. Rock Truth Radio is a cross cultural response to the economic climate and social crisis of today. Rock Truth is designed to serve the physical need of fallen man while serving the spiritual need he didn't know he had that impacts, affects, and infects generationally. Rock Truth seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming established local kings and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are, to whom we belong. Rock Truth!
What's going on?
Where y'all at, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Awesome.
All right.
Good.
I'm
Yes.
Miss Tony this Monday.
And I first want to make sure we welcome our new Rock Youth Truther, Naya.
Hi, Naya.
Hey, Naya.
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Just tell us a little something about yourself, real quick.
I am Anaya. I am a freshman. Not a freshman. A sophomore in high school. I am 16.
Okay.
And I seen y'all on Facebook, and I just wanted to join because I like that y'all vibes. Y'all seem like nice people, so I just wanted to join. Yeah.
Okay.
And I like that right. Yeah.
Well, we are so excited to have you join us and rock some truth with us. How's everybody else doing?
Great.
I'm good. I'm just gonna say that I'm blessed because God just keeps on making a way.
Amen.
Over and over again.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Can't complain because
Amen.
we still alive. We still alive, y'all.
It won't change anything. We complain anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Hey,
Not right now. I ain't gonna complain.
Okay, so today, guys, we have an extremely special guest.
She's special,
Her name is Mary Kennedy. We're going to have her on talking about her personal life as well as her professional life. You guys got all your questions ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Ready?
Yeah.
Should we bring her on, y'all? Should we bring her on?
We're gonna have to bring her on.
Oh, here she is.
Mary Kennedy. Hello.
Hi.
How's everybody? Hey.
Great.
That's what's
We're just so happy to have you joining us to talk.
I'm happy to be on. I am so happy to be on for real and rocking truth with y'all finally. Like I don't have to do
with the youth.
Nothing with the youth.
All right.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Yes, so I want to go ahead and start us out and open up with a really great question. So as of right now, you have Rock Truth and also Rock Truth Youth. Can you tell us a little bit how this started and how this began?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I wish I honestly could, but I can't. It actually wasn't anything that was like, most people talk about how this has been something that has always been on their minds. Like this was something I always knew I would do or something like that. That's not this story. I had no clue. This is all a shock to me. This is all a surprise to me. I am a writer originally.
Right.
I'm just a writer, and so no, you good, boo. Yes, chime in, please, girl. Like shout that out. Yes. So I'm just a writer. Like, and so, the different visions that God had given me, I didn't know that the pieces would fit together this way. I didn't know anything. So this actually started out of just a response to truth. Growing up, I honestly felt as if we were not told the truth. We wasn't told basic things like, you know, you can't be anything that you want to be. You can only be who God created you to be. And so, operating from a lack of dishonesty, my life, you know, played out based on a non-truth, you know. So when I was in college, I majored in everything, right? Because I have no direction. All I know is that I'm just gifted. I have all these different things, but no avenue, no real track. And the only place that I ever found that avenue or track was at Emerson Visual and Performing Arts. That was the one place where we were able to, ain't it, right? That was the one place where we were able to be ourselves. We were like the weird, you know, I guess you would call us the weirdos, the band geeks and part of the drama club and the dancers, you know. So we're the arts, and so that was our spacing to be ourselves and become. And then you have your friends who were there to also support that dream, and it was how their connections and the different things that they were doing too connected to your dream too. So, you know, you may be the actor, but then you also need the person who's part of crew that knows how to run the things behind you. So how we're all connected, you know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody else want to pop in with a question?
I don't really have a question, more so just talking to you, Mary Kennedy, from you being over the whole rock truth youth. It's just me personally, I feel like it more so started with me because like me and you were just peas and carrots. We're going to see Clybourne, and we're having tea, and we're just like I feel like you are you are an inspiration to me, and you inspired me so young because I am also a band geek,
Right?
or what you would say, and I'm into the whole, you know, with the nerds, and it's just I feel like you just opened the door for me as a young lady to be able to speak my truth and know that who my father is. I am a representation of who my father is. And yeah, so that with you starting with me, I feel like open doors for the rest of Rock Youth. And this is just speaking for, because Naya, you knew this is not just something you just, I just liked it and I liked your vibe. This is the truth. This is something, everybody has a purpose in this group. This is bigger than us. This is bigger than us. And this didn't just start. Like this didn't just start this year with the radio. Like we've been doing this for
share.
Wow.
I would like you to share a little bit about that. You saying that this didn't.
Well, no.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm like I said, like you started with me when I was not even hitting double digits. So, and here I am finna be 22, and I'm just growing as a young woman. I'm going around testifying. I know I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. I know that I can do more for young women and for my little sisters and for my little cousins, and that us women of color it's bigger than us. So yeah, that's really all I had to say about that. But you're an inspiration to me and will always be an inspiration to me.
Thank you.
And you've been for over a decade now. So that's all I'm going to say.
That's awesome.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
So since you said that she's been an inspiration for over 10 years, I'm going to go back to you, Mary. As we're interviewing you, right? Can I go back to you and ask you, so in those 10 years, what were you doing that brought you and her together? And how does that tie into your personal life and those things that you were doing 10 years ago?
Yeah, so actually because of her grandma, we all ended up at Tree of Life Missionary Baptist Church. I was actually about to say Tree of Life University, but it was like that, right? Because
Right.
we got seminary teaching, like we got college level teaching, no matter what your age was.
Yeah.
It was no age
Yes.
requirement. You were going to have to define the terms, whether you knew them or not, and whether you were old enough to understand the meaning. So, we all got that same teaching. And of course, I knew her prior to, I knew her from birth. But when we got to Tree of Life, at that time, I became a church school teacher and I taught the youth. I noted my leadership style early on, that this was the, what do you call that? This was the, it's not a sample size. This is my age group. These are my target audience. There you go. So my target audience was the youth. It's not that I'm not good with younger children. I am. However, I'm more effective with the 12 to 21-year-old group. And I learned very quick, actually, from the opposition, that if you capture the mind of a 12-year-old, you'll have them for life.
Yeah.
Oh, that's deep. That's
Mhm.
deep. I definitely believe that. Working
You
with
got me, girl.
like you,
Yes,
you
girl.
start them early. Look, you
Yes.
trained them early. Look what you did. Look what you did.
Man,
You trained her up.
let me get her.
Yeah.
Let me get her sister. Hey,
Yeah.
her sister. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You gotta get them
Yeah.
early.
Yes.
Definitely.
Now, before I start asking, anybody else have another question they want to pop in? I know, Naya, you said you had a couple questions. So you want to ask her one really quick?
Yeah, real quick, because I'm finna open these phone lines, baby.
No, that's right.
You're talking to me, right?
Yes.
Naya.
Naya.
One of my questions was, what did you do when you failed at something that you really wanted to do?
What did I do when I failed at something I really wanted to do? Initially, I gave up. Because growing up is very difficult when you grow up as a child who's expected to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They expect, because you make the A's and you do everything right and you catch on fast, but they forget that you have the ability to fail like everybody else. And when you're not taught how to properly handle failure, you'll give up. And so one of the first times that I ever failed in life was in my 10th grade English class. And shout out to Miss Borkman Kaza. I love her. I will never forget how she changed my life. And I used to always get straight A's. So I would be at the top of the board every time. She would put the top 3 people and I would always be there. And when I wasn't there, that was devastating. I felt like, that was something that I had to live up to, right? Almost the reputation that was provided for me. Not that wasn't who I was, but it's not something to live up to. It's just, if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, that's okay too. Guess what, sis? But I didn't get that. I felt as if, I was discouraged by failing and I wasn't properly taught how to. So now that I know how to properly deal with my failures, I see them as opportunity. I see my failures as classrooms. And then I get excited because I love to learn. I really do. I'm a learner. I love it. And I love learning new things. And now I'm loving to learn new things about Mary.
Yeah.
Person, God has called me back to her. Like, who is she?
Yes.
And why she doesn't like these things and why she does these things or says these things, not out loud, in her head. Why you think that? Like, I'm dealing with me. So in reference to failure, now that I'm taught how to properly deal with failure, because it's no option. Failure is you're going to fail. Like, get that out your mind, that the greatest things in life have been created because of failures. Like, in order for you to succeed, you have to. So even when people say things like, I'm trying, I'll stop them and I'll say, you can't even fail or succeed trying. You can only fail or succeed doing.
Yeah.
Pick yourself back up. It's okay. It's great. great position to be in.
All
Send
right,
me
pause,
your
Miss Kennedy. Pause, just real quick. We're gonna open up these phone lines. If you got a question or if you got anything in regards to Miss Mary Kennedy, or if you want to talk to any of the rockers, to Miss Taylor Renee, Mortis Nine, Tamoy, Sanaya, call
Yes,
747-24 Truth. That's 747-24 Truth with the TH,
yes.
not a F at
Yes.
the end.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I
Miss
like that you
Louise.
said pause just for a second. Just pause for one moment. Just pause.
They are in these chats,
All right.
but they are
They
funny.
are going in the chats.
They
Ah,
All
are.
right, y'all. If
Yes.
y'all want to talk to us, 747 I had it up on my phone.
It's okay.
747-24 Truth. We're all human.
And going back to the failure piece, again, when you went through those failures, did you have a person? Did you have a thing? Was there something that kept you pushing? And can you talk about that? Any type of failure situation you may have gone through and how it pushed you through and what you
Yes.
clutched to, or
Your
even a person
inspiration.
trying to keep you going.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, I guess, to be honest, of course, we rock truth. So, like, one of the first things that popped into my mind was the loss of my pastor, which was, he was my father that I had been longing for forever. Right?
Deep.
So it's amazing to me sometimes when people talk about, having faith, and they talk about, I just held on to God's unchanging hand. Let me tell you something. I let go.
Yeah.
I let go. I didn't understand. It got to a point where some of it just seemed outlandish and crazy to me, to love and keep loving and you're hurting.
Yeah.
It made absolutely no sense. And then when you have a guy before you where you're modeling after, what's before you, and then that guide is pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
how did I make it through? I was pulled through. Like, God didn't give up on Mary.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, what? I rebelled. I started doing everything I knew not to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was to get anybody's attention, God's attention, or it was just flat out rebellion. But I knew what I was doing. I was aware, but I also knew that I was hurting, and it was God that didn't let me go, not the other way around.
Amen.
Yeah.
I
That's
felt
deep.
that.
Yeah.
Deep. Because sometimes, like you say, we always want to say we always go to God, and that's where we should go.
Right.
But then there's also some person sometimes that brings you back to it.
Yeah.
And so you need that, and also you need to know that sometimes it's okay if you doubt when you get brought back to it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just make sure you always have that person, and those people come in so many different ways.
They do.
They can literally be back. It can be the bum on the street. It can be someone you thought you didn't like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teachers.
Where you push right back to where you thought you were going to be. So
You know what? Even with that being said, I definitely want to shout out Sharon Bass, Miss Sharon Bass.
Miss Bass.
Yes, Lord Jesus. And she's somebody, she's always a background player. She'll never say that she's done anything. She don't want no credit for nothing.
Yeah.
And she probably don't want no credit for this right now. But she was Sharon Bass, when I was down, she saw me, she talked to me, and she said, "This ain't you." She said, "You're the one that's always telling us what it is that we're supposed to be doing. You're the one that know all the rules, all the way. You know everything. What are you doing? Get up, Mary. Get up." And it was that got me up, because I felt like, I was just inside of myself, balled up in the back of my heel, just in a corner, and nobody, like everybody else is going on. Nobody sees me. Nobody, and I'm just still down though with sword in hand. and she just said, get up, this isn't you. And so ever since then, I've been, even to this point today, every day is an attempt to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
And
be
it doesn't
successful. Yeah, you can be successful. You can have things going on and still hurting. That doesn't,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You still need that person.
Yeah.
What
still
about
need
you
people.
guys, fellow truthers? Do you have anybody that, again, even going back to this is the time of thanks? Is there anybody that when you had those times that you want to shout them out and just say thank you?
My
For
granddad.
Joyce Joyner, she got a shout out. She probably she hear this to my Grammy. She got the
She'll
shout
be
out.
watching. Like,
She that's my BFF. till we die.
Anybody else?
I could say my granddad, which everybody know as Pastor Emery.
Okay.
I lived in like Gary like mostly all of my life, and when it was time for a change, as things go, you really don't want change to come. Even if change is good, change could be good, but
Right.
if you're used to something, you don't want to let it go or move on. And since I have been since the age of, I would say, 10 years old, I had been going to Pilgrim, and I had met him. I didn't have a dad at that time, and I had met him, and me and him created this bond where, at first, I really didn't know about, God at first, like really how I know about him now, because I felt like everything was going bad in my life, so I feel like it was no reason to keep going on. But as I met him, and he would tell me like, you don't wake yourself on your own every morning. God will choose you. So you have to grateful, and you have to appreciate things even when you don't want to. So moving was actually good, which he told me. And he had a stroke or whatever. But as he keeps moving and going along, no matter what he does, he always tell me remain humble, and no matter what you do, give God thanks first. So I could say that he made me have a positive outlook on a lot of things that I thought were going to be negative.
Yes. Oh, we got The Rock in the house.
I love it.
We got The Rock in the house.
Welcome, girlfriend.
Unmute yourself, The Rock.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing? Who are you
I'm
thankful
good.
for?
How y'all doing?
Who inspired you? Who motivates you?
Who motivates me?
Yes. Who?
To be honest, I'm gonna say you, Tamoy. Yeah.
Me?
Yes. And Nigel.
Really?
You want to explain?
Those are my two sisters. And I look up to them. I look up to them a lot.
Can you elaborate why? Tell us a little more.
Tamoya, she went to college, and I didn't want to go to college. Then I saw her do it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college. Then Nigel, she used to be bad, so I guess I followed her footsteps. I was bad, then I stopped being bad because she stopped being bad.
Somebody calling us?
Yeah.
Calling us. Oh, they is calling us?
They are. Hold on. You guys have a call. Hello, caller. This is Rock Truth. Tell us where you're from. What's your name?
This is Ivo the Grand Duke.
Yeah, what question do you have?
Oh, y'all are so beautiful.
Thank you. I love King, y'all. I love Kings.
Listen, I was listening to the story, and I couldn't muster up a tear to cry with you, Mary. So I'm gonna leave you with this. God, man, He's the creator of all, and He's the ultimate chess player.
Yeah.
Those things that you went through, I need you to know this. It takes dirt to grow roses.
Hello?
You know what I'm saying? It takes dirt to grow roses. You would never get a beautiful flower. You would never get food. You would never get anything that's of production that can reproduce unless you have dirt first. So God brought you through that, to go through that, so you can be here today to witness to the rest of us and to let everybody else know, and for you to be a testimony of how He wants to use for us to grow.
Amen, brother.
And
Thank you.
I truly love you for bringing that story out like you did, because that gave me some support with how I do the things that I be doing. I always give people my background about where I came from, but it's only to produce more fruit for everybody else to eat off of.
Teach King.
Yes.
But y'all doing good. Y'all are marvelous.
Thank you.
Ivo, you know, every time you open your mouth, I learn something new. Like every time. I love it when you talk. I just want to listen. I just want to listen.
The word is I can't.
You know what, Samoy? That's because I'm allowing God to do what He is supposed to do. I be saying things sometimes, and I be like, "Ooh, did I say that?"
And you did.
This is what He does with us. And then, once He figure out that you chasing the kingdom, He puts you around more queens.
Oh, yeah.
Like what I'm looking at on my TV, because I'm watching y'all on TV.
I know that's right.
And that's just what He does. And I'm so glad to be watching y'all. I'm like, I wasn't going to watch it at first. I was just going to comment, but then I had to put it up on the screen. I'm like, look at Katisha. Look, why is Anaya? Tell Anaya to fuck up.
Yes.
Y'all are doing a marvelous job. I'm going to start just tuning in all the time. I set my notifications.
Thank you.
Y'all doing a marvelous job, but I had to call in and support the queen on her story, because it was touching to me. You know what I mean? It's beautiful what y'all doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, King.
We appreciate it.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you too.
I mean, and that's how it is. Kings and queens.
I promise.
And more kings.
Hello.
Yes. Showing all the love. I definitely appreciate it.
It's enough for everybody. That's the thing. Oh, Mary Kennedy, this has been amazing. I don't know what else I want.
And there's still more, right? And there's still more.
What is it?
Okay. So, Mary, what advice do you have for younger females, as far as me and Tamoy's, Naja, Jen, Naya, when we want to, because I'm pretty sure we all been dating, what do you have as far as, what I'm trying to say, us loving a boy, putting our trust into a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, what advice would you give to your younger community as far as us when it comes down to relationships, loving a man, giving our all to a man, etc.?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You
go ahead, Mary. Go ahead. Lay it on thick. Lay it
down.
You said a word. You said a word that was very important. You said dating. My question to all of you before I even answer it real quick was, when you heard that word, what was the imagery that was associated with it? When you hear dating, what's the imagery?
Boyfriends,
like going on dates.
We don't. Dating is not. That's not what we're supposed to be doing.
That's
why I told you to lay it on because I already know what was going on.
Look at the imagery. The first imageries that come to your mind is what was given, right? What images they depict, and those images have absolutely nothing to do with relationship. Relationship is intentional. It's purpose. It's so crazy because I was talking with a friend and we were listening to a thing and it said people think that relationships are kind of like, matching clothes. Like you're supposed to have pink with this pink and this pink and you match it. But that's not the truth. It's actually about complementing, and it's also about the contrast, and it's also about balance, right? You can't have too much of not one thing. And that law, as we were, kind of discussing the situation, that particular law fits all the way across board. So you know that it's true. Everything in life has balance, right? Okay. So in reference to relationship, the first thing that's important is that you need to know. Okay. One thing is knowing that there is no dating. These are all made up things, made up rules in society. None of this is where you find in the scripture. You ain't finding nobody going out being wine and dine. Okay. All of these things are false images. Marriage, relationship, like I said, is intentional. So there's purpose. There's a point that you're making when you're with somebody else. And that point has nothing to do with you or the other party. Everything has everything to do with him. It's for his name.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
in relationship, it is important. The first thing is singleness. And you need to know how to relate to you. You need to know, why is it that you do. First of all, why are you as selfish as you are? Why are you as needy as you are? Why are you as attention seeking as you are? Why you need all that? Why you gotta have somebody, in a sense, rescue you? Why you gotta have somebody always tell you every day you're beautiful? Why do you have to have, because you don't know? And because, again, like he says, my people suffer due to lack of knowledge. You lack knowledge, and then you take that lack of knowledge and attempt to point blame at the other person. So now we got a real problem. And that type of behavior tends to damage men, especially with women. I'm definitely talking with women and younger women. And notice I didn't call you ladies or girls. You are women.
Yes.
You've always been from the
Yes.
gate. You are what you are. And so I'm talking to women. This leads to the abuse of our kings, my demanding spirit and attitude. And when you kind of look at the virtuous woman, she didn't make demands on her husband. She actually fulfilled the request. She was a businesswoman. She made sure she took care of the tapestry business that she had. I'm sorry, the what do you call that? Fabric business
Right.
she had. She made sure the home was checked. She made sure the children was in place. She made sure her husband and everything was looking good, represented well out, even before herself. They had nothing to do with going on a date
Hello.
or to the movies. None of that. It was about that. And then again, just looking at society, you guys are not bridezillas. Actually, if you look at weddings, you should not have in your mind you coming down the aisle, right? You think you're supposed to come down the aisle. That is a falsehood. That is Western Americanized culture. In the Bible, who is the church waiting for?
Deep.
Who you
Ain't we waiting on Jesus?
I'm so then how are you coming down the aisle and the man is waiting on you? That's how you know it's diabolically. So weddings today are diabolically opposed to the kingdom marriage. Women should be down there waiting on him. He's the gift. He's the prize. We're behind him in a sense, under submission, but he's the foundational piece. So even again, we're talking about lies, right? And being lied to. And so you'll have a saying that says, behind every great man is a great woman.
Right.
Well,
That's
let's
what
look
they
at the
say.
imagery. That's what they say, right? So let's put that to the acid test and look at the imagery. If you put a woman behind a man and something happens to the front, who gets crushed? The woman.
Yeah.
That's not positional. She's not foundation. She shouldn't take the blow. It should be him.
My Lord.
And it better be.
It's not behind
As it
every
should.
man. It is in front of every man. Is a good woman. Is a great woman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these falsehoods. So I would say no. You want to know what it is to be a woman. You need to know what it is to be a wife. You need to know what it is to be a mother before you get into these roles.
Yeah.
And potentially damage another man. Do you understand? These are our brothers.
Another woman's
And another
husband.
woman. Come on.
Hello.
And another woman teaches us.
Hello.
That probably wasn't that wasn't even your husband. That was somebody else. That was your sister's husband. And you damaged.
And look what you did.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
Yes.
I'm serious. I'm
Look what you
serious.
made me do.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
I gotta stop us for one quick second, y'all. We gotta get ready for a break.
Oh,
we gonna
yeah,
come back.
break.
We'll come back. We gotta go to break. Give us a few minutes. We're gonna go on a quick commercial break, and we were gonna jump right back into the conversation. So hold your questions, ladies. We're gonna jump right on in.
All right.